You're looking for the best gaming monitor 2021 and you're leaning towards the best 1440p monitor, but you're not quite sure what to get or if it's the right resolution for you. How powerful does your GPU need to be to power the best 1440p gaming monitor? What kind of specs like response time and refresh rate are you looking for? And does it matter what kind of games you play, or will any gaming monitor do? We're going to go through all of this and give you specific recommendations at every budget level to help you find the best 1440p gaming monitor 2021 coming right up. Hi, welcome back to PC Builder. I'm Jason. I've really been looking forward to this episode for the best 1440p gaming monitor 2021. As you probably know, I did a video that's got almost 500,000 views right now on the best gaming monitors 2021. That's at every resolution, 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. But because I did so many monitors all kind of smashed together, including a whole education section on what specs you're going to be looking for, I didn't have enough time to go through all the 1440p monitors that I would necessarily recommend. So this is our opportunity not just to refresh you on what kind of specs you're looking for, what you're looking for in terms of the refresh rate, in terms of the response time, curved versus flat panel, all those important things when you go to buy the best 1440p gaming monitor, of course. But then we're going to go through specific product recommendations at every budget level. And this time we're going to include more alternates. We're going to include more flat as well as curved. And we're going to actually get to the super ultra wide category, which I had to cut out last time. So with that, let's just go ahead and jump in this video. You know what to do, of course. Like, subscribe, do all that fun kind of stuff, especially if you get value out of the video. Here we go. Now, starting off with the aspect ratio, there's three main ones you should focus on. The 16:9 ratio, also known as widescreen, that means for every 9 pixels high, the monitor is 16 pixels in length. That's the most popular monitor format. Ultra-wide 1440p screens have a 21:9 format, and super ultra-wide, also known as super wide, has a 32:9 format. One key spec for the best gaming monitor is the refresh rate, expressed in Hertz, abbreviated HZ. Now you can effectively use this as a stand-in for FPS, so a 144 Hz monitor is going to allow you up to 144 FPS. Now most of the best 1440p gaming monitors are going to be at least 144 Hz, if not higher, though there's definitely diminishing returns the higher the refresh rate. Response time is the time it takes for a pixel to go from one color state to another. The shorter the time at the native speed, the better. But do beware that many monitors have an overdrive setting that, while it speeds up response time, may lead to other display issues and are generally not worth using. Well, there's three main types of monitor panels. When we're talking about the best 1440p gaming monitors, TN panels, they're just not a thing. Instead, you're going to find that fast response time IPS panels with their more vivid colors and newer technology VA panels with their slightly slower response times but significantly better contrast dominate. Now, some disagree with me, but I personally think there isn't a lot of difference between the best VA and IPS panels for 1440p gaming, and I'd focus on other factors instead. That leads us to AMD FreeSync versus NVIDIA G-Sync. Now, this is a bit of a complicated topic, but it basically boils down to this. FreeSync and monitors that are called G-Sync compatible are widely available and will work with AMD GPUs and most modern NVIDIA ones. NVIDIA G-Sync monitors are generally more expensive as they have physical hardware in the monitor, and while they will work with AMD GPUs, you won't necessarily get all the benefits that an NVIDIA GPU will. I'll leave a link to a deeper dive article down in the description on this topic. Curve versus flat. Now, while the topic is relatively simple, the key thing that you need to know is that monitor curvature is expressed in R, with the smaller the number meaning a more curved monitor. So 1800R is less curved than a 1000R monitor. Now at 1440p, the two sizes that make the most sense are 27-inch and 32-inch. 24-inch monitors do exist, but at this resolution it often doesn't save you much money, so you might as well get a larger monitor. So here's the big question. What GPU do you need in your gaming PC in order to use the best 1440p gaming monitor and get a good frame rate and have high enough detail that you feel like you spent your money wisely? Let's take a look at some testing data done by others on 1440p gaming resolutions across a wide variety of cards. And you can see here from the TechSpot 14 game average at 1440p in high quality settings that at least an RTX 2060 and I would say an RX 5600 XT, not pictured here, are probably the minimum that you're going to want to use, and that's going to get you about 60 frames per second with performance going up from there. Of course, what game you play makes a significant difference. For instance, if you're just playing something like Counter-Strike Global Offensive at the highest settings at 1440p, you can see that you can still get 127 FPS out of an RTX 2060, so you could probably even use a lesser card. However, I would still recommend the 2060 as your baseline. Moving up to a more graphically demanding title like Horizon Zero Dawn, this testing done by TechGauge, you can see with the 2060 and even the 5700 XT, we're down just above the 60 FPS range. With the higher end cards like the 3060 Ti, the 3070, and the 6800 up around the 100 FPS range. Let's jump into the product recommendations. Remember, links are down in the description below. And of course, I will add things in as deals change. I'll check this video every couple of days. Those will be the most recent links. Starting off at the budget level for 1440p. Now this is about as cheap as you can get into 1440p gaming and still get a good experience, what I consider at least a good experience. And that is the Samsung 27-inch Odyssey G5. Now this has a 1000R curved screen, 144 Hz refresh rate, 1 millisecond, well that's what they claim, 1 millisecond response time. Comes with FreeSync Premium. The thing that I like about this is, number one, it's $260 right now at Amazon for the 27-inch model. And if you want to bump it up to the 32-inch model, it's only $299. Well, let's throw the penny and call it $300, call it what it is. Honestly, for the money, these are really hard to beat. Now, look, these are not the best panels possible. They do have some visual quality issues that some of the higher end panels don't. But honestly, for the money, they are very, very hard to beat. The next ones I would take a look at, of course, is the ViewSonic, and this is a mouthful, VX2758 2KP MHD. This is, again, links down in the description. Don't write all that down. Currently out of stock, but if you are looking for a flat IPS panel, dirt cheap, that has pretty good quality to it, I would recommend this one. The one thing I don't like about this, the ViewSonic, is, of course, it's the stand. The stand is terrible on the ergonomics. I would recommend getting yourself a cheap $30 monitor arm and using the VESA mount on the back of the monitor and throwing that stand into the recycling bin because it's absolutely terrible. Going up a little bit here in terms of price, there are some other really good curved and flat IPS panels, one of which is the AOC CQ27G2. Now this is a 1500R curvature, so it's less curved than the G5 I just showed you. The panel is better though, overall. So if you want to spend another $50 on the 27-inch model, this panel is pretty mid-range quality. I know it's got a little bit of a challenge with blacks to it, but overall, rated very highly by a number of different reviewers. And then of course, if you've got just a little bit more money to spend, or you're just really holding out for an awesome flat panel, this is about what you hit at the mid-range here with the Gigabyte M27Q. Now this is a 170 Hertz refresh rate monitor, 1440p. They claim a half a millisecond response time, but that is MPRT, which means moving picture response time. It's not gray to gray. The response rate is actually a little bit lower, but it is an IPS display. It is flat, which I know a lot of folks in my last video expressed they wanted more flat monitors. I gave them too many curved monitors. So here you go. This is a highly rated one by all the reviews that I've taken a look at. Again, not much else to say other than $320, but I will say at $320, we are starting to creep into the higher end of the mid-range, and I'm going to show you some monitors that if this is in your price range, you might want to consider. Now we're going to move more into the upper mid-range of the 1440p monitor. So what do you get for the extra money? Well, overall, you're going to get better picture quality, you're going to get better response times, you're going to get a wider color gamut, you're going to get HDR for these monitors, though for some of them it means more than others, and you're going to get, for the first time, NVIDIA G-Sync compatible monitors along with FreeSync as well. So remember, NVIDIA G-Sync compatible doesn't mean that it's got any hardware in it. It just means that the adaptive sync is certified to work, or at least compatible, in the open source platform to work with NVIDIA G-Sync. And of course, one of the things you're going to get out of these monitors, you're going to get much better ergonomics, much better physical stands. Some of them even come with some pretty cool RGB. Kicking off with the Aorus FI27Q. Now this is an IPS panel, 165 hertz refresh rate. It's a flat panel monitor. It's got some really cool features, like it's got built-in noise canceling microphones. So if you plug your headset into this thing, it will actually use the microphones on the monitor itself to help cancel out some of the background noise. Just kind of a neat feature. It's got customizable RGB lighting in the back of the monitor. It's got a very nice adjustable stand, including a full tilt to it. That's for $380 over at Amazon. For also $380 over at Amazon, we've got the MSI Optics Mag 27 for QRF-QD. Again, links are down in the description just for that reason. The product names for monitors are always crazy. This is an IPS panel with 165 hertz refresh rate. It's a flat panel. It's got a really great balance of fast response time with very good color contrast for an IPS panel. That's typically something that VA panels do much better. This panel is very good for the color contrast. And the great thing about this, it's $379 now. The price on it has come down quite a bit, which makes it a really good value pick. And of course, this is also NVIDIA G-Sync compatible as well. And then rounding out some of the mid-tier is the LG 27 GL850B. This is the 27-inch version. Now, the 27-inch version of this panel's been out for about 2 years. It's 144 hertz. It's a nano IPS panel. This is really, once you get into the higher end of 1440p panels, the nano IPS is one of the two routes that you can really go with this. And the LG 27 GL850B was one of the first panels to use it. So it's still got a very good response rate to it. And for a long time, it was considered one of the best 1440p gaming monitors, but the contrast on this, not as good as the MSI panel I just showed you. However, it is generally in stock. They produce a lot of these things, and you can often find it on sale, and the price is still at about $400, pretty reasonable. Again, G-Sync compatible. That's about all you got to say. This one, I would look to calibrate a little bit better than what it comes out of the box. All right, now let's jump into the best of the best of the best. Links are going to be down in the description. And over at Dell, we've got the Alienware AW2721D. Yes, I'm including the monitor that I left out of my last video because I only included the best of the best in my opinion, but I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, and they say, no, Jason, this is the best of the best. So we're going to start here. This is a 27-inch flat IPS panel, 240 hertz refresh rate. Now, this thing has an amazing color gamut. It's got absolutely incredible response times. It's got G-Sync Ultimate. It's got FreeSync compatible. HDR 600 contrast is a little lower, so you don't get as much out of the HDR as you might with some other monitors. But honestly, if you were looking for the best of the best, price aside, this is definitely monitor you should consider, number one. Now I'm going to give you the monitor I consider the best of the best of the best, which is the Samsung Odyssey G7. Now I'm actually showing you the 32-inch version right now because the 27-inch version is out of stock at Amazon. Again, I'll include links to Best Buy and other retailers. It will come back at Amazon. The reason it's out of stock is that this monitor goes on sale quite often. And as you can see, the 32-inch right now is only $700. Often sells for $800. But again, the 27-inch model will sell for $600, often comes down to less than that. And that's why it's out of stock this second, because it was on sale at Amazon. Now, the Odyssey G7 is a 27-inch fast VA panel, 240 hertz refresh rate. It has an extraordinarily strong color gamut. It is HDR 600, but again, similar to the Alienware, in this case, it doesn't quite get bright enough to see a huge difference from the SDR version. It's G-Sync compatible, FreeSync Premium on it. Slightly slower response times than the Alienware, but a lot of people feel, including myself, that because of the better contrast on this monitor, it more than makes up for the deficit in response rates. And the response rates on this monitor, let's just in an objective sense, are still very good. It's just that the Alienware is incredible. Now, again, links to Best Buy, Amazon, and others in the description. For my money, given the price especially, this is the best monitor. The Alienware is second. I know other people disagree with me, so you can make the decision yourself and buy the one that you think is better. Now let's take a look at the best ultra-wide 1440p gaming monitors. That's a 21:9 aspect ratio. Now prices for these monitors have come down quite a bit, particularly on the entry-level models. Remember though, that these models are going to be more demanding on your graphics card, so you're going to have at least, I would have at least a 2060 Super or an RX 5700 XT before considering one, unless you only play less demanding titles like CSGO or something like that. We're going to start off with the Lenovo G34W10. Now this is a 34-inch ultra-wide with a curved VA panel and a 144 Hz refresh rate with AMD FreeSync. Most of the reviews I looked at for this considered this among the best budget 1440p ultra-wide. What did they like about it? They said it had great contrast with deep black, so it's really good, especially in a darker environment. Compared to other models, the color gamut, it's a little more narrow, but it's still very good for the price, which is only $370 at Amazon right now, and that's like stupid cheap. Now, it does have some compromises in terms of pixel response time, but honestly, for the price, it's unbeatable. And if you're looking to get into ultra-wide gaming, this might be the place for you to start. Now we're going to jump over to the Gigabyte G34 WQC. It's a 34-inch ultra wide. It's a curved VA panel, and just like the last panel, it's 144 Hz refresh rate. Has both FreeSync and NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. The ergonomics on this one, I'm going to start with some of the cons, are not the best. The stand is just not the greatest thing ever. It's got decent HDR experience, and it's got about average color gamut. However, the contrast is very, very good, and you can get this panel right now for $410 over at Newegg, or at Best Buy you can get it for $399. Again, another really fantastic budget option if you're looking to get into 1440p ultra-wide monitors. Now, rounding out our best budget ultra-wide monitors is the AOC CU34G2X. The 34-inch ultra-wide curved VA panel with 144 Hz, stop me if you heard this already, with AMD FreeSync. So this one's $450. Why would I even recommend it when the other ones are so much cheaper? Well, the color accuracy out of the box was near perfect. I couldn't find a single review where they said that they could improve it with additional tuning. The contrast was very impressive. Now the brightness, they all said it could use a little bit more brightness, but it was very good for gaming, and they all had an enjoyable experience. And one thing that everybody remarked on is the ergonomics on this thing were really incredible. So if you're really serious about getting into this, this might be the monitor for you. So as we get to the absolute best gaming ultra-wide monitors, the best ultra-wide is the LG 34GP83A-B. Now, it's a 34-inch ultra-wide curved IPS panel, so it's got really great color to it, very, very fast response times. It's FreeSync and G-Sync compatible. Now, it comes natively with a 144 Hz refresh rate, but that can be overclocked all the way up to 160 Hz. Incredible picture on it. Note that it's almost identical to the LG 34GN850B, so just get whichever one is cheaper. Right now, the LG 34GN850B is out of stock at Amazon, so that's why I'm showing you this one. $800. Honestly, once you get above this range, there are some monitors, but they get into the stratosphere really quickly of $2,000, $3,000 very, very quickly. So I'm not going to show you those, but if you're looking for a real human being experience, this is definitely it. That brings us to the super ultra wide category. Now, honestly, there are a couple of these monitors. I probably could have thrown a couple at you, but really, there's one monitor, and that is the best. If you're going to spend this amount of money, you're looking for the best. That is the Odyssey G9. This is a 49-inch VA panel, curved VA panel with 240 Hz refresh rate. It's incredible. Now, you need a good graphics card to run this thing. Think about your graphics card before you jump out there and get this. NVIDIA G-Sync and FreeSync on it. I mean, what else to say? It's basically the G7 panel All the same responsiveness, all the same contrast, amazing contrast on it, amazing image quality, except in a much larger package, which I don't know how they did that. So $1,970, that's how they did it. They're going to charge you 3 times as much for, about 2 times the monitor. But if you were looking for the best super ultra wide experience, there really is nobody who does it better than the Odyssey G9. There you go. That's the best gaming monitors 1440p 2021 edition. Tell me what you thought of the deals down in the comments. If you found a better deal, let me know. And of course, if you got value of the video, remember to give it a like. It helps so much. And we are almost at 40,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. Come join us. Come on in. The water's fine. Click that like button and subscribe. Hey, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one.